I came to Naju more than 20 years ago. I came out of curiosity. When I heard about, these miraculous events, there was this urge to see for myself. And I didn't hear about Naju again for quite a long time until our dear Stephen, he's working very hard to get people to come, so he kind of invited me. At that time, I was looking for something. I was looking for a change in my life. I've been a priest for so long now. This year I'm 40 years ordained as well. And I thought maybe a personal retreat in a foreign land, in a foreign place, and would be an ideal opportunity to put myself right with God again. So it was not so much out of curiosity that I came this time. It was more for something deeper. I wanted a deeper experience, and I don't know what it would be. So I realized that maybe I should just come and be open to whatever comes my way. And then I had the opportunity to meet Mama Julia. Of course, my reaction coming here, of course, was this niggling fear in my mind about feeling exposed to the holiness of this place. And for me, it was a humbling act that I had to endure. To come face to face with Mama Julia and to be embraced by her. Of course, what happened was I couldn't stop sobbing after that. Of course, it was quite a tremendous experience. It's very hard to explain, but anyway. I felt something very light in me, and I think, and the words that came to me from Mama Julia was very touching indeed. My son, you are forgiven. And that was indeed very touching for me. Oh my gosh. And I realized, I think, coming to a place needs a lot of humility on one's part. For bishops and priests, for instance, the idea that you come here, basically, maybe first of all out of curiosity, but maybe later on you will realize that maybe I have to humble myself and say, I'm coming as a pilgrim in need of God's mercy. And I think that's the kind of attitude we have to put on, that we come as humble servants of God who are in need of God's love and mercy. There are many reasons why we come to Naju. Some of us come to offer prayers for those who are sick in our families. But underneath all this, the need to be firm in our faith. That's why we need physical signs, we need miracles. But the greatest miracle, of course, as Bishop mentioned at the beginning of this Mass, is the conversion of the heart. The Gospel points to that today. If you have a firm foundation, nothing will shake you. You don't need miracles, you don't need anything strange or supernatural, to confirm your faith. But what I like to focus on, of course, is the foundation. There is a leaflet that talks about the Five Spiritualities.
5대 영성이라는 팜플렛입니다.
There is even a book now, and which describes Mama Julia's experience of the Five Spiritualities in her life. And if you have anything to take away from here, then take away these Five Spiritualities and apply them to your lives. So if you have a chance to pick up the book on the Five Spiritualities, I will just kind of give you a summary of it here. So the whole act of offering oneself throughout the day, the first spirituality, of course, is turning our daily lives into prayer. So from the moment you rise up in the morning to the time you go to bed, of course, you have many things happening in your lives. And that's to basically offer each event or each person you meet to the Lord. And that, of course, becomes your daily routine, prayer every moment of your life. And that becomes, again, the habit of praying, the idea of praying constantly. So don't you have to go on your knees to pray, but basically, in the very act of interacting with others, you are also praying for them. Then we have these, what we call semchigo. When we want something, we cannot get it, then what you do, of course, is to give thanks as if that you have received that thing that you never had in the first place. So it's part of dying to self, basically. You're not having it, but you give thanks nevertheless, as if you already got it. So you are indeed coming to terms with the absence of that particular thing in your life. Then the third one is to offer up our life, basically. In its totality, not only like one thing, but everything that happens to you, everything bad or good happens to you, you offer that up to the Lord. Because if you harbor resentment towards somebody for hurting you, then of course that's not good. So you have to offer that up to the Lord. The fourth one, Amen. is to say basically amen to the will of God. If this
주님의
is the
뜻에-
way that has been shown us, then amen.
주님의 뜻에
Let it
우리가
be. It's a matter of, again, dying to self. Say, accept it. And the last one is to say, it's my fault, even though it may not be your fault. So basically here is example given. See, if you are hit by a stone while standing or walking on the street, and the impact causes us to bleed, we do not blame the person who threw the stone in the first place. Okay. So we practice love by offering it up and say, it's my fault. We were hit at the moment when we could have been somewhere else. So this is just a basic explanation of the five spiritualities. But what Rome is looking for now is the focus on spiritual fruits that come out of Naju, a place
그것이-
like this. And we have to emphasize on that.
이것을 우리가 강조해야
And we have to
하고.
look for that in our lives. In the book, the Five Spiritualities, you will see examples from her life, how
그-
she endured the sufferings. And she models for us the suffering of Jesus. So, my dear friends, if you want to look for the unexpected in your visit here to Naju, on this pilgrimage, then look for the conversion that comes from within. But if you go back home as a changed person, as a transformed person, that's the biggest miracle. So come here as pilgrims, pilgrims
순례자로서.
on the way. And this is coming here is part of the journey of all of us Christians who are following Christ. So do what you can during your time here to put yourself right with God through Jesus and ask Mary to intercede on behalf of all of us, so that our lives will be changed for the better. And that when we go home, people will see how transformed you are. So if you feel that maybe you need to have proofs, make the most of your time here in prayer for one another, and also pray for yourselves.
여러분,
That you may be able to humble yourself to acknowledge that you are all sinners in need of God's
우리
mercy and
모두가
love, regardless of who you are and where you're from. So thank you very much and have a blessed time here in Naju.